going to take a look at the pond and beach rake. So let's see what's in the box. We have a float, some Velcro to tie the float to the rake head itself, nylon rope to get it out there further, bag of bolts, end cap. This here thing with the pins in it is an extension for the extra handle, braces, instructions, and the handles. For assembly, we only need two 7/16" wrenches, and the first part that goes together will be the handle without the green grip. Just taking a look here quick. It'll have a slot, and that's going to go right over top of the slot and line up with a hole in the rake head. So we'll be back on the next step. Okay, we got the bolts in and snug down as per the directions. Don't over tighten them. And the directions say use the middle size bolt. There's two short bolts, one on the left here and there's one on the right. Those are your shortest bolts. The one in the center is the next longest, and the one back here for the brace is the longest one of them all. So that's what the bolt sizes mean. Put it all together loose and then go ahead and snug it up. Now, let's say you want to use the 20-foot rope and toss this bugger out there to get the weeds that are far away out on the water. Hold on, we'll swing around here to the back of this handle and install an eye bolt that's provided, and we'll add the rope, tie that off, and once you get your knot done, get some waterproof electrical tape, something that won't come unraveled, and tape your knot so as you throw it, it doesn't loosen up and lose the rake. Now this is the extension handle with the green grip on the end of it, and this is the extension to connect both of the handles together if you're not using the rope. I probably won't be using the rope in my ponds, but we'll see. This is where you want to use gloves so you don't get pinched. But see, these pins are spring-loaded, and what they do, you get them inside the blue tube and align it to the holes, and it'll pop out through the holes and it'll lock it in place. So let's see if we can do this without getting hurt. Here we go. Slide it in, and it locks right in place. Then just go to the other handle, put the rake on it, and do the same thing. Then you have an 11-foot rake. And there you have it. Up next is the aquatic weed cutter. And we'll go through the same things where we have directions, bag of bolts, the two cutting edges, and all the other pieces. Don't worry, we'll walk through this one step at a time, show you how it all gets put together. And again, we have the first tube we're going to use is the one with a slot in it. But first we're going to have to hook up the blade to the stiffener bracket right up front. It's called an L bracket. Directions walk you through pretty good by lining up arrows, inserting bolts, and you should wear gloves because this says extremely sharp object, used with caution. So be careful. Let's get started and throw a couple pieces together. We'll be right back. Okay, the first step in the instructions is to take the cutter blades and point the arrows towards each other, and then the stiffener bracket with the arrow pointing away from you, place on top. So you're going to line up those holes in the cutter blades and a stiffener bracket. And then we'll align there, and then we'll put in the short bolts. on the 2 outside holes up through the bar so the nut's on top. We'll be right back. Alright, we have the stiffener bracket, the L bracket, attached on both ends, hand tight, and the next bracket that's going to attach the handle and the gussets I also attached with the short bolts, finger tightened. And next up is going to be a little trickier, because we're going to take the slot rod and slide over the center hole, and then one gusset is going to go up and the other will go underneath to hold the rod or hold the handle, and then put all the bolts in. So we'll be back once we fumble around with that, get all the bolts in. It won't be too hard. That wasn't too bad at all. I slid the slotted handle over the gusset, or over the handle piece, and try to get the hole lined up, and I dropped the bolt down through just to get that lined up, kind of square it up, and then pulled the bolt back out and added the support gussets, one on top, one on the bottom, and then everything else fell right into place. So now it's time to get everything tightened up. And there you have it, all tightened down. And by the way, it uses 7/16 wrenches as well, same as the Rake. And this is a part where you want to be real careful with and using gloves, because if you slip off that nut or bolt with a wrench, your knuckles are going to go across that serrated edge blade and you're going to get cut. Same as the same as the Rake. There's the extension handle, and there's a hole here and a hole on the other side. And what happens is we have the extender connector with the spring-loaded pins. I'm going to slide it in, squeeze those pins, and just kind of push it in slow so you don't get your finger and meat stuck in there. And slide it in until it locks in place. And put this into the side with the rake, or with the cutter on it. And there you have it, your weed cutter.